A couple of months ago on my channel I uploaded a video in which I shared some of my thoughts and views on how to make a building look like it's being lived in. And in that video I built this lovely little house for the baker. However, as some of you more observant viewers might have noticed in the previous video, the baker has moved. Which I figure is the perfect opportunity to share some of my thoughts and views on how to make buildings look like they've been abandoned. Now, in my opinion, there are 5 stages of abandonment to a building. There is, just left. Left only a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, we can still fix that. Wow, I would not live in that building anymore. And lastly, complete ruin. Now, stage 1 kind of depends on the story that you want to tell. What reason did they have for leaving? If they were forced out of their homes, they probably wouldn't have had time to grab all their stuffs. That's not good English. However, the baker did have time, and so he would have grabbed all his things and all his books, even the ones that are apparently hidden in the wall. Would have grabbed his chair and all his furniture, his bed, and he would have taken that with him, of course. He might have probably taken this lantern or things that he's still going to use in his new place. This, for example, that was a barrel with dough in it, I think. He's going to use that still, of course. He would have also turned off the fire, so let's just get rid of that one. And of course, he can still... Oh, I broke it. And of course, he can still sell his delicious pastries in his new shop. So, he will take those with him as well. Then on the outside, he has his clothes over here to dry, which of course he would have brought with him. And probably the whole this thing as well. As for the wheat, he might have taken that with him. That makes sort of sense, I think. But you would have probably left the field itself, because it's kind of difficult packing all of this up into a bag and taking it with you. And there you go, that's already... Oh no, there's still smoke coming out of the chimney. And there you go, that is stage 1 complete. Now I noticed that this building is still over here on the side. This was originally just supposed to be a sort of a demonstration in the original video, so let's just get rid of this one as well while we're at it. There we go. We now have a completely abandoned house over here. Stage 2 is when nature is starting to take over. The garden over here is becoming a little bit of a mess, creeping up on the house. Of course, we have ferns and whatnot taking over. And something that seems fitting in this biome is berry bushes, with some of those growing over here. And maybe, just maybe, where nature is starting to touch the house, it's becoming a little bit more ruined. Maybe some of the wall has even fallen down. We have some stones over there. Let's see if this does something. Not necessarily. It's a very different color from the other one. So let's then move on to stage number 3, where nature is taking over even more. In fact, it might have just shattered the windows. I don't know. And it's creeping in through the windows over there. Maybe over here as well. We've got all sorts of saplings sprouting out of the ground, and I'm just remembering, though maybe this should have been part of the previous stage, some of this path is going to get grown over again. There's only just a hint of a path remaining. Now on the inside here you got all sorts of problems. You might notice, if it chooses to do so now, look at that, there is a leaky roof, which means it's going to get very humid in here, which means there might also be... If it's dark enough here, oh, it's not quite dark enough here, but you might get mushrooms sprouting out of the floorboards. Ugh. Something I personally like to do to really make a wall look broken is to put stairs in there, just like this. Same, of course, goes for the deep slate ones. And maybe just even a little more cobblestone everywhere. Makes it look like it's broken a little bit more as well. And just like that, it all looks just a little more ruined this way. Now stage 4, that is one that I really truly enjoy. That is when we really can start to ruin the house. This is when we can start tearing down bits of walls and the chimneys. Maybe they've fallen down here somewhere. Maybe crashed through a tree. Now bits of the wood might have rotten by the weather. And that makes the building look quite a lot of structural integrity, which means that maybe some of the roof would have collapsed. So let's make a really big hole in here. There you go, it's only barely holding on over here. And let's just get rid of this in general. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot to use the massive versions of the stone. That is quite important. And whoopsie doopsie doo, this is all fallen down. Actually just crashed. On top of all of this here. Which might also mean that some of these are over there now for some reason. Let's put one more over here. And let's have the leaves regrow. Because of course they will still claim the land, right? And maybe parts of this have fallen down as well. Oh, and there's a wandering trader. Well, but you're a little late. There's nobody here anymore. Well, except for me, of course. Can I help you with anything? No, don't step in those. And I'm realizing at this point this is not supported anymore at all. So let's just get rid of this in general. Maybe have some of it still over here. And this is all fallen to the ground, right? So let's leave some remnants of that over here. There was once a roof, but no longer. Let's see, bits of this have fallen off as well. Landed right there. Everywhere. Boop. And of course, you cannot forget the poor sign. That one's fallen as well. Can we... Let's get some dark oak. Oh, let's do a pressure plate. This could look like as if there was a sign there. And it's no longer. Maybe? Sure, why not? Let's use the imagination. Now at this point, this truly looks like a house that you wouldn't buy anymore. You wouldn't go live in this anymore, probably. The cost of rebuilding is way too high, right? Which leads me to the fifth and final stage of this project, which is complete ruin. This is where it's pretty much gone. It's going to be evident that once upon a time there once stood a structure here. But it's definitely not going to be a structure anymore. So it's all going to go. All going to go, except for what I'm going to try to do is preserve these stone bits over here. At this point I sort of figured it'd be easier to just set fire to it all. But then that might catch on to the rest of the forest. Oh, this tree grew! That's fun. And so now I'm left with only the stone bits at the bottom. It was evident that once upon a time there was a structure here, but there is simply no longer. And you can sort of help this process by manually removing some more. Oh, and this is kind of floating now, so that doesn't really make sense. Neither does that one or that one. Just eyeball it a little bit, see what works and what doesn't. This looks weird, this is kind of weird. This is kind of cool, I think. Of course, there'll be stuff growing inside here now. So let's have just some saplings. They don't need to be placed in a way that they can grow. To have tiny small saplings might just actually help with the look. But for those that can grow, it'd be fun to just have... Oh, that's a cute one. See, I don't think this one will grow. Doesn't look like it will. Probably because of this. Oh, maybe that's ruined. There you go. Maybe. Will it? No, it won't. But that's fine. Let's add some more leaves to it then, shall we? Make it look more overgrown. Now this structure, of course, had some stone bits on the roof, so maybe they would have all fallen down into the ground or onto the ground. So why not have some of those still over here? And there you go. That, I think, is how you ruin a building. The 5 stages of abandoned buildings. Now, of course, there is a bonus stage to this. You can just remove it all and then you won't have the building anymore. But at that point, it's not a ruined building anymore. There's just nothing because it's not there anymore. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this video and that I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye bye.